It's a waiver wire Wednesday. We're tackling all the positions today. For some of your leagues, your waiver wires ran last night, and you're here for that juicy confirmation bias. Some of you guys got waivers running on Wednesday. Some of you guys have waivers running again at the tail end of the week. I'm here for you. We're going over all the positions here today. Before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're going deeper than anybody else on the waiver wire. This is like our 5th, 6th video this week. Usually it's like that, and we're deep diving all the trending prospects with the You Need series. So you get the advanced analytics, those hard to find stats, so you can decide whether or not you want to pick up that player. On top of that, we're helping you set your lineups at the end of the week, covering all the matchups, player by player, every single player on the slate. Click that button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. You do not want to disappoint Ric Flair. JJ McCarthy, he's back. I think he should have been a speculative pickup earlier. He's in all the waiver wire articles as a pickup. Makes sense in traditional leagues, competitive leagues. He's picked up. Baltimore, you might get some good back and forth in that matchup. We saw that with Bengals and Chicago. So JJ McCarthy, it played him earlier this season, but still some good matchups there. Packers on the road, Seattle on the road. But you got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Hawk. You got a good cast of characters to help boost him up. I think he's a solid pickup for the year if you're looking for a quarterback. Colston Loveland is the new tight end we're looking at. Big-time prospect here. Just a big-time prospect that could get you to the promised land. He's a tight end. I expect him to be volatile because it is the tight end position, and he's a rookie. But he also has the probabilities and outcome just to blow it up for the rest of the season and just go off. He has that potential, and we're seeing that right now in his game. We're seeing that in the last couple games here where you're seeing the ramp up here. You're seeing it in the snaps here, 6-7%, then 81 and 81. And the targets, 4, 5, and 7. You're seeing a ramp up there. And the thing about his game, which makes him different than a lot of tight ends, is he can get downfield. He can get those air yards on any given play. He's got nasty ball scales. He's a threat to score from damn near anywhere on the field due to that. And you saw it last week, but that's why the Bears drafted him as the first tight end off the board instead of Warren, because he plays a different game. They're different assets at the tight end position, honestly. They're different players totally. They play the game totally different, and it's based off preference. He fits Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is a YOLO quarterback that pushes it downfield. It's a good fit. The tight end position on the waiver wire is raw right now. There's nothing really there. Colston Loveland, the only player there with a lot of upside. Should have been stashed, though. Should have been stashed after the bye, after week 7 in most leagues. Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce is starting to come on strong. He gained a little value, but nobody's really mentioning it unless I didn't catch it. But A.D. Mitchell's gone. A.D. Mitchell was a threat to compete for the deep targets. That's Alec Pierce's game. Alec Pierce is now the man there solely, and he's starting to command more workload and opportunities. Like the last 3 games, 10, 5, 13 in terms of targets. He is the type of player that if he brings in that deep shot, that 1 or 2 deep balls every single game that he gets, if he brings in 1 or 2 of those, he's going to go off. He went off a few times last year. He's hitting the fairway, though, about every other game. About 1.5 games here, he's hitting the fairway here, which means he's rosterable, and he's that type of player that you throw in the flex. Matchup doesn't matter. And it's about like every other game, you're going to get something out of him. A 50-50 flex candidate. Blake Corum is the prime handcuff here. He will get to Kyren Williams touches. He will get to Kyren Williams workload if Kyren goes down, and you're going to want him. If I got Kyren, I'm cuffing Blake. I'm getting Blake. If I don't have Kyren and I got a roster spot and you're looking for a backup running back that if the starter goes down, will get all the touches and everybody wants to blow the fab on, it would be Blake. He'd be one of the top ones. Jacoby Brissett has entered the chat. He's been looking solid. He has been pushing out fantasy production. You got Seattle on the road. You got San Fran. You got Jacksonville. About 3/4 of leagues out there are good at quarterback. So most of you guys do not have to make this play. But I'd be looking at him matchup for matchup here. You do have Marvin Harrison Jr. You do have some assets here to play with Jacoby Brissett. You do have some upside, and he's on most waiver wires. Luke Musgrave. Now, Colston Loveland's probably picked up in a lot of leagues already. Like, he's been a stash, and you're looking to get that fill-in for Tucker Kraft. It really depends on what's there at tight end, but the cupboard's been bare, and it's always bare. There's always, like, a new tight end every week. He's going to be the fill-in. He's going to be running the routes. He's not Tucker Kraft, but he's very athletic. If not, he tested better than Kraft. He's had a lot of injuries since then, so things could have changed, but he did test better than Kraft at one point. And you're looking at Luke Musgrave here. He fits this offense. He's played well in spots for this offense. He scored well in fantasy historically, especially during his rookie season. They drafted him in the second round. He's a good talent here. I would not expect Tucker Kraft consistency, but I think he's a good fill-in off the waiver wire with good potential that you're not normally going to see off the waiver wire. Tyler Allgeier is another prime stash candidate. If something happens to Bijan Robinson, everybody's just dropping that fab. If I got Bijan Robinson and I got a spot, I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to get that insurance policy. We're too deep into the season now. Like, if you lost him, and now you got to fight the fab for him off the waiver wire, you're probably not going to win. You're probably not going to win, especially if you don't have fab, because I'm going to try and make sure you do not get him. You should have got that insurance policy. That's the thing that's going to happen, especially if we're fighting for playoff spots, fighting to go deep into the playoffs. And if you got Bijan, more than likely your team's ready to go into the playoffs. Get your insurance policies in order. Christian Watson should be rostered. He should have been rostered after that first game. He kind of had a downer game here, so he might have got released. It really depends on how your league turns and burns with players. Deep threat dandy. Carousel effect here with the Packers. Any wide receiver on this team can get it on any given Sunday. That's just a fact. That's just how it is. Deep ball dandy. He'll splash 2-3 more times this season. It'll be random. It'll be on the big play. He's also due to score some touchdowns, and more than likely he'll get some touchdowns with him getting 4 or 5 targets a game, maybe even more, especially with those deep plays. Bhayshul Tuten is just a stash play, especially you got Travis Etienne. He's got a lot of buzz. Everybody be dropping fab on him. He's not one of my top stashes. I do like Corum. I do like Allgeier better, and there's probably a few others that we'll cover on this list, but I do like him a lot. Like, my ears are pinned up looking at him because I know he's a fab buster. I know everybody will go after him, and I know he would get that Travis Etienne workload. Trevor Lawrence is not a sexy quarterback to get off the waiver wire. He's a butt rock quarterback, but when you're looking at him and you're pressed, he kind of just gets you to the fairway. And if that's what you want, if you're just looking to get by and you're not taking that risk, he's only busted like once or twice. He doesn't really bust much. He just does not go off. But when you're looking at the waiver wire, that's probably what you want sometimes. Theo Johnson. He gets touchdowns almost every game. Like, since week 4, he's got a touchdown every game but 2. And at the tight end spot, consistency is rare, even at the top end. And for the tight end position, he's actually rather consistent. Should be rostered in many leagues, but he's also Theo Johnson. He's not the sexiest name. Also, it's the Giants. This team's volatile, and his scoring has been up and down to where people are probably turning and burning, as everybody should be turning and burning to some degree. I like him. I've actually had him on some teams, considering I played Devy before Penn State for almost a decade now. Now we're looking at Cedric Tillman. He's going to be back soon. He's going to be back very soon, but it's still the Browns. They still can't throw it past 10 yards, but he has the speed, the size to get that yak, and maybe he cooks something up. If you're in that dire need, they're going to be making switches at quarterback soon. Maybe last 5 of the games, they're with Shador. Maybe they do something else. Maybe they give you that rub down. But Cedric Tillman, you got upside here if you're looking for somebody that's running a lot of routes. That could be getting, I'm guessing, probably about 5-ish plus targets a game. It's hard to project this offense right now. Tank Bigsby. Yeah, when I was saying running backs over Bhayshul Tuten, I think for the short term right now, as we're watching this groin come back for Saquon Barkley, Tank Bigsby Like, I want him on teams as a speculation over these next few weeks, if not for the full season, if I got Saquon, just in case that materializes to be worse than what it is. Just in case. I'm here for it. He looks explosive. He looks the most explosive he's ever been. More explosive than even at Auburn. He was solid, maneuvering behind that offensive line of the Eagles, and that's a prime backup to get. Aaron Rodgers is another butt rock running back here that you don't want, but he'll get you to the fairway. He's a fairway quarterback. He's got Cincinnati on the docket. He's got Chicago on the road. You got some opportunities here. You got to play your matchups. Bottom third in quarterbacks in your league. If you're ranked there, you're going to be playing some butt rock music here off and on throughout the season while you're streaming. Trey Tucker got anointed. I did a You Need video on him. He's got a rough schedule coming up. You do have the Cowboys. He's going to be getting targets. I don't expect his target volume to go through the moon. Brock Bowers is going to go to the moon. Michael Mayer might get some extra work. They might play around with those two rookie wide receivers with him, but I expect him to get enough workload where he's still doing Trey Tucker things, and that's hitting in the flex about every other game and just randomly where it's a 50-50 shot whenever you start him to get you to that 10, 11, 12 range. Mason Taylor. It's a butt rock tight end right now, honestly. Like, he's going to get you the routes ran on the field. He's going to get you the targets. The Jets are going to be the Jets, and they're going to mess him up in fantasy production, but he will have a few good games because he's good. He's a good talent. Like, it's Mason Taylor we like. We don't like his situation, but he's good enough to outperform that situation. You do have the Browns this week, but if you're looking for volume and opportunities, there you go. Brian Robinson, cuff to Christian McCaffrey. And if I got McCaffrey, I'm making this a precedent. He's actually rostered in most leagues. But again, turning and burning in active leagues, he could be there. That's the thing about that. The roster rates are real to a point, but you also got to put into account that the people that are actually watching this content are in leagues that are turning and burning more. So if it's not turning and burning and guys are sitting there, by default, you know who to pick up, and it's pretty easy. But if it's turning and burning, you kind of need that story, too, to why you need to keep turning and burning. Brian Robinson, cuffed to McCaffrey. McCaffrey has an injury history. Pretty easy story to tell here. They also got other running backs on the roster. Pretty juicy. Pretty juicy. They could mess with him with that. Olamide Zaccheaus, lemonade here. He's been getting targets, bro. He's been getting targets. 6, 3, 7, 8, 6 in week 4, too. He's been getting volume. Luther Burden, we'll see when he comes back. Luther Burden's a hell of a talent. We knew he was going to get work out of the slot. They're starting to go to around the slot. They're running crossers more. They're starting to do that. We're seeing Romo Dunes getting work. Where's that work going? Olamide, man. Olamide, man. So when you're looking at him, he's like a 50-50 shot hitting it in the flex. He's like a 50-50 shot. He's a 50-50 shot play. When you're asking start-sit questions, I think it's best, but I don't want to be rude to say, hey, it's a 50-50 shot play. You got two 50-50 shot plays, pick one. That is the honest answer. That's the honest. Now, if you want to ask who I would put in, it'd be this guy or this guy, but it's a 50-50 shot play, and he's a 50-50 shot play as long as he's getting this workload every week. Dalton Schultz is a butt rock tight end, and the reason why it's been historically, especially with the Texans here, he's been butt rocking it up. He's the nickel back here of tight ends for sure. Because this is the guy that gets the volume and never does nothing with it. Like, he got you 13.7 PPR fantasy points, 18 and 11, and that's it, but he's getting like 6 targets a game. He's not scoring touchdowns. He's not doing that. He's a butt rock running back. Now, if you're looking for targets, routes ran, a tight end that's getting work on the field, here you go. If you're looking for production that's consistent, good luck on that. But he's getting workload to where we can accidentally get there. It's just not his trend over the last couple years with this team. Manny Wilson, we know why we're here. We know why we're here. We're getting touches in this offense. If Josh Jacobs goes down, you want Manny Wilson. We know for sure it's Manny Wilson next man up. He's not going to be messed with. He's also a standalone asset in the flex and dire need. He will hit to the fairway about once every 3.5, 4 games, and that's something to look at there. That's something to pay attention to because that gives you value to your flex, to your bench, because that's a stash play that can give you more than just sitting there waiting for an injury to happen for them to get anointed. Manny Wilson, though, will get it done if he gets a full workload, if he gets that Josh Jacobs workload, if it happens. Tory Horton got messed with. Rashid Shaheed coming in. My thoughts on this is, what if Cooper Kupp's injuries are that concerning to where he's still out a few weeks and we're just back up to being a 50-50 flex play? What if we're just back up to being a 50-50 flex play? I got to do a unique video because I think people are concerned they just need the lowdown. They just need that. But what if we're back to that? Even with Rashid Shaheed there. We also got continuity in the offense. We got a good prospect profile. We're hot right now. And we've had hot runs already in the season. We're a touchdown play. We've earned it in the offense. I look for him to be a good 50-50 shot until we're proven to not be. Isaiah Davis got messed with by the trade deadline. Breece Hall sad he's still with the Jets. Handcuffed back, but honestly, I don't know if you're cuffing with the Jets. He was more of a speculation for the trade deadline. You could release him if you want, if there's something better there that you like. Running back wise, or if you need to make a move, but he's also getting workload in his offense. 9 targets in his last 2 games. If Breece Hall goes down, he's not going to work extra hard to get back into the lineup because why? Why? He's playing for the next contract. He's not going to risk re-injuring. He's going to make sure he's fully good to go. Isaiah Davis would get a long tenure being the man there. He's a cuff there. You know, he'd get the workload on a team that runs the ball a lot. I think in traditional 12-team leagues, we already went over like 5 or 6 cuff backs that we like better. Kareem Hunt, you can use in lineups. I expect him to be rostered in a lot of leagues, considering he hit back-to-back weeks. Also going on bye. Then we got Denver on the road. He's just a sweat it out for the touchdown type of deal. Somebody that you're not clamoring the roster, but if he's there and you got a game, you got to throw somebody in. There you go. Nick Chubb. Here's what I said yesterday when we talked about the running backs. Like, you're seeing him get all the touches, and maybe he gets accidentally to 10, 12, 13 PPR fantasy points, 15-ish on the high end. Maybe we accidentally get there. We're also due to score a touchdown. We haven't done that in a bit, and we're getting a lot of touches. But the thing is, the chance to crack 20-plus, 25-plus isn't really there. So those Brashard Smiths, not just him, but anybody in that area ranked 40 to 50, 35 to 50 range that's not getting the boatload of touches, that has a lot of upside, maybe you take that play instead if you want to shoot that route. That's what I would think about when setting the lineups. Do I want to risk, because it is a risk to the fairway, or just risk going for 20-plus? Terrell Jennings. They did not trade for a running back. I think he held his own so well, they were like, hey, we can be a little bit more conservative with this. We don't have to go over the moon here. I think we're going to be all right. And I think in deeper leagues, I think if you need a stash, Mondre Stevenson, we do not know when he'll be back. He'll probably be back sooner or later, probably. It's a toe. Who knows, though, with those injuries? You got Hendo there. Hendo and Jennings would be a good tandem. That would be a good tandem together this season. I think Jennings is a stash if you're in dire need, if you need to go that route. I think he's in an offense where they can get to the red zone enough to where you can have that touchdown sweat out every week. Brashard Smith, he's getting work, man. He had a 20% snap share. Pacheco was out. We're on bye now. You don't need him on bye. You got Denver on the road. If he starts blowing up out of nowhere, it'd be somewhere in the double-digit weeks back in the season, later in the season. We're watching the routes, touches, and opportunities. It could be next year. He's just a deep dart throw gamble. Those are the waiver wire plays we're looking at rolling into Week 10. Let me know who you picked up or are picking up in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.